So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another zombies video where today we finally have information on who created the Pack-a-Punch. After all of these years, we've had this machine since the very beginning back in World at War, but we've never known who made it. We've had our suspicions as to it being Group 935. Was it Toten, Maxis, maybe some other organisation? We've never truly known the answer until now, where in Tag the Toten it has been revealed. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, a like rating would be appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel, but let's get into it. Here we go. So in our final ether map, there are 3 recordings from a man named Jebediah Brown, who claims to have built the Pack-a-Punch. He tells us his story about how he got his ideas and where this all started, and we also have a radio from Toten where he mentions Jeb's Pack-a-Punch machine but tells us that it was Group 935, specifically Dr. Porter, that actually finished it off. So I'm going to let you listen to the radios from Jeb first, and then I'll come back and explain what he says after.
The day's the 14th of April, the year of our Lord 1885. A day I will hold dear until my last. I have done and spent 30 years of my life in Purgatory Point. My ma brought me out here when I was but 10 years young. She hoped to give us a chance at a new life. They're good folk here in Purgatory Point. Sure, sometimes they get a little rowdy, and maybe we strayed too far from heaven's gaze, but what do you expect from a frontier mining town? Something happened to one of the miners. Clive Farnsworth, a good man, came by the shop a few times. Anyway, he went down into that mine, stayed down there for 10 days. When he came back up, he was changed. They say he was like a feral animal, rabid and carnivorous. His mind was gone, his flesh all sallow and bloody, his eyes ablaze in a red light. First home he stumbled upon was me and Ma's. I was at the shop at the time. Ma went out to meet him, and Clive, Doc said it happened quick. Clive jumped on her, ripped her throat. Old Bill ran over, put 2 through Clive's skull, shot him dead, like a dog. But Ma, she's been laid to rest now. She'll rise up to heaven, and bless her soul, she'll be greeted with open arms. That mine, they've been digging for that blue rock. Some folks say you stare too long, you'll find the devil in it. I need answers. I need to understand what happened. I'll head down to that mine tomorrow. The day's the 19th of April, the year of our Lord 1885. Somehow, I don't know how it's possible. Last I recall, I was headed into the mine. I swear, I was only down there for a few hours. But I come back up. Townsfolk say I've been missing for 5 days. Then there was last night. When I slept, I had a vision. 2 angels came down to me from heaven. They told me I needed to be ready, to prepare for what was coming. And what was coming, they would not tell me, but how to prepare. Build a machine, they said. A machine that will grant you great power. Now, this machine was complex, requiring craftsmanship and mechanical skill I did not have. I told them such, but they said not to worry. They would guide my hands. The way they described it, it sounded like an oven or a kiln. You stick your rifle inside, and when it come back out, well, let's just say that rifle would pack a serious punch. The day's the 30th of June, the year of our Lord 1885. My invention is the talk of the town. People been coming from far and wide, eager for a chance to upgrade their firearm. Revolver, rifle, the machine don't care. It'll pack 'em all. I pray every night, thanking the heavens for sending them two angels. I couldn't have done this without their guiding hand. They returned to me last night. They told me there was another machine they wished me to build. They called it the Agarthan device. Said it had the power to grant that which one truly desires. I told them I was their servant. Show me the path and I will walk. They said I needed three things: the blood of an elder god, an elemental shard, and a metallic vessel to harness and carry both. To find the blood, they instructed me to travel to the bottom of the ocean. I told them this I could not do, for I would perish. To craft an elemental shard, they instructed me to forge 4 souls with a blue rock from our mine. I told them this I could not do, for I do not have the means to siphon a human soul to an element. But a metal vessel? Well, I am a blacksmith. That I think I could manage.
So Jebediah Brown was a blacksmith from the Old West who lived in a place called Purgatory Point. He was brought out here by his mother when he was just 10 years young, where she had hoped to give him a chance at a new life. He tells us the folk at Purgatory Point were good people, although sometimes they could get a little rowdy and maybe stray too far from the heavens. But he says, what do you expect from a frontier mining town? This reveals to us that Jeb's home was buried. But anyway, he tells us while he was living there, something happened to one of the miners named Clive Farnsworth. One day he went down into the mine, he stayed there for 10 days, and when he finally returned, he was changed. He had turned into the undead and lost his mind. And it just so happened that the first person the zombies stumbled upon was Jeb's mother. Clive attacked her and killed her, ripping her throat out. But anyway, because of this, Jeb decided to investigate what was going on down in the mines, and so that's exactly what he did. On the next radio, Jeb tells us after going into the mines and then returning, after swearing he had only been down there for a few hours, the townsfolk told him he had been missing for 5 days. And Jeb then began to have visions of 2 angels coming down from the heaven. They told him he needs to be ready to prepare for what is coming. What that was, they wouldn't tell him, but how to prepare, that was to build a machine that would grant great power. This machine, of course, was the Pack-a-Punch. Jeb told the angels it was too complex, he wasn't skilled enough to do this. They said to him not to worry, they would guide his hands. His Pack-a-Punch machine became the talk of the town. People coming from far and wide, eager for a chance to upgrade their weapons, revolvers, rifles. This machine that could upgrade all weapons. And because of this, Jeb prayed every night, thanking the heavens for sending the angels. That was until one day they returned. They told him to build another machine that they called the Agarthan device, where they told him it had the power to grant that which one truly desires. And in order to build this, he needed 3 different things: the blood of an elder god, an elemental shard, and a metallic vessel to harness and carry both. To find the blood, he was instructed to travel to the bottom of the ocean. To craft the elemental shard, he was instructed to forge 4 souls with a blue rock from the mine. And as for a metal vessel, well, because he was a blacksmith, Jeb knew exactly what to do. So not only do we learn Jebediah Brown created the Pack-a-Punch machine, but he also made the Agarthan device. Now there is also a film reel in Tag der Toten from Rick Toten, where he tells us it was actually Group 935 and Dr. Porter that reconstructed the Pack-a-Punch after finding it destroyed.
Log entry 937, date May 15th, 1942. Dear Diary, our men have safely returned from Africa, where they recovered a number of artifacts buried underground in some sort of subterranean cowboy village. Apparently it was American. That's right, an American cowboy western town, buried underground in Africa. Stupid American Schwein, this there. apple pie und their baseballs, thinking they can just waltz into another country and claim it as theirs. There is no art to their work. But I digress. The boys have returned with a number of fascinating articles and documents. They have pieces from a destroyed machine called the Pack-a-Punch. With a name as clever as that, it must be American. I have given the schematics to Dr. Porter. Perhaps he will have better luck replicating Jebediah Brown's work. Speaking of that blacksmith, we also recovered plans for the Agarthan device. It seems that the blacksmith already built one of the pieces, the fabled Vril vessel. The Agarthan device, a device capable of granting that which one desires. Almost like a genie in a bottle. I think I shall keep this genie in my back pocket. If my plan fails, and it won't, perhaps this device can get me to Agartha.
So we can see in Richthofen's diary he says he sent some of his men to Africa where they recovered a number of artifacts buried underground in some sort of subterranean cowboy village. Of course, like I said earlier, it is the map buried. He continues to tell us the boys have returned with a number of fascinating articles and documents. They have pieces from a destroyed machine called the Pack-a-Punch. He gave the schematics to Dr. Porter so that he could replicate Jebediah Brown's work. And of course they also recovered the Agarthan device as well, but we finally learn the origins of the Pack-a-Punch machine. It was created by a blacksmith called Jeb in the Old West back in 1885. The angels came down from the heavens and told him to build it. Who are these angels exactly? Are they the apothecons, the keepers, Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man? We've heard about the angels quite a few times in Zombies now, and although it's never really being confirmed, it looks to be the keepers, but it could be Monty the Shadow Man or the apothecons. But yeah, Jeb built the Pack-a-Punch. We can see after some time it was destroyed. Whether Jeb did it himself or someone else, or it just naturally happened, I don't know. But Group 935 discovered it and rebuilt it back up. And actually, before we had these radios, we had a few hints about this back in the Giant. There was this quote from Richtofen where he told us the Pack-a-Punch machine was built by a good friend of his in the Old West.
This machine was built by a good man, a blacksmith in the Old West. I hope I can one day thank him.
And also a while ago, the full Pack-a-Punch machine song was leaked. Now if you actually go in game, you don't hear the full version, but I believe this was in the files of maybe Black Ops 3, I'm not too sure. And although I can't play the song due to copyright, you can hear it on YouTube. The lyrics pretty much tell us exactly what these radios did. That Jeb's mother was killed, 2 angels came down from the heavens and told him to build this machine as a war was coming, and so there we go. That is all for today's video. We now know the history of the Pack-a-Punch. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye.